Catherine and Meghan, what truly went on? And was it ever a friendship? Hi, good morning, welcome one and all. Thank you so much for joining me today. Nice to have your company on yet another rainy day in London. Do we have any others? Well, we did have some sun, didn't we, last week? Do you know, on days like this, I don't know about you, let me know exactly what you're doing today, but I sometimes just think, oh, let's just have a day in watch Horlicks and some black and white movies, perhaps something like with Jack Lemmon or Tony Curtis, you know, a bit of a comedy, cheer yourself up a bit. Oh, listen at me, sounding all maudlin. I'm here to cheer you up. You know, I am telling you my woes. As ever though, back to your breaking royal story of the day. This story really caught my eye simply because, once again, there's a couple of documentaries in the pipeline about exactly what went on between Meghan, Harry, William and Catherine. And it was supposed to be the Fab Four. Do you remember when they launched that mental health campaign together, and everybody thought, wow, this is the future, the modernisation of the monarchy. And then, of course, we had Meghan Markle bleating on about how difficult it had been while she'd been in the British monarchy, with suicide attempts, depression, you know, people just leaving her to it, nobody even telling her the words to the national anthem. Never heard of Google, Meghan. But anyway, interesting to note, of course, that this isn't the same recollections by the Duchess of Cambridge, according to a very good source. And it's also interesting because Catherine and her sister Pippa are very close. You know, they truly are close. They get each other's opinion on clothes, hairstyle, makeup, all the things that close sisters do. I've met Pippa too, and she's a lovely girl actually, very down to earth, as is their brother James. Just nice people, you know, take people as you find them, no sides to them, all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, we saw, didn't we, this sort of patching of friendship between Catherine and Meghan. They popped up at Wimbledon together, and of course they popped up at various royal events. And so a lot of people were thinking this actually might work out, even though the two ladies were from really different backgrounds, as we later found out. But what truly mystified Catherine, and this is truly what also angered William, was during this whole debacle of where she was trapped in a cottage for 4 months on end and never visibly seen or never went out. Well, as we now know, that technically wasn't true. There were paparazzi shots of Meghan going to visit friends for lunch, shopping, but they decided not to publish them in the magazines and tabloids so that there wasn't an invasion of privacy. Again, that's not been addressed by Prince Harry or indeed Meghan Markle herself. And then we had the story about how Catherine had made Meghan cry, and she, in fact, verified this on Oprah Winfrey. But according to that good source, Catherine tried her very best to welcome Meghan within the British monarchy, knowing what it was like as an outsider. But more importantly, she really did try alongside her sister. But according to that good source, there was always an outer wall that they felt they couldn't break. It seemed superficial on the outside, and I'm being kind here, and as ever, we have to say allegedly. But what's interesting to note is, having spent time with Pippa and seen Catherine up close with people, you can see the sort of people that they are. Now, in fairness to Meghan, perhaps she was reserved, as is someone coming from an acting background. Perhaps she wasn't sure whether she could trust them or not trust them. But none of this was reflected in that Oprah Winfrey interview. And a lot of people over here are saying, why did Meghan decide to paint Catherine in such a bad light when we see on a daily basis just what an engaging, if sometimes shy girl she is, and more importantly, wanted the very best for the British monarchy, and seemingly really opened her home and her heart to Meghan Markle. However, I'd love to know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. It isn't a judgment on either lady, I'm simply just presenting the facts as we find them to you. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.